trying to.
Hey, good morning, guys. So, this is a different one. At first, I don't have my earbuds. Secondly, I'm in this place. Check this out. Let's see. This is where we are. We are in Andrews, North Carolina, and it is July 5th. It's the day after um, Independence Day, and so hopefully you guys are had a great Independence Day. Chambers is in, and sorry, Joseph is with me too. So, if he has any brilliant insights, he has promised to chime in. So, um, Chambers is in Psalm 37 again. Yesterday we were in Psalm 37, and it was talking about not worrying about and not fretting. Remember, not fretting about evil. And in verse 5, 37:5, he says, "Commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will do this." And so, this is the not just the not fretting, but now we're talking about where we are supposed to be focusing our efforts, our attention, and that is trusting in God. Commit thy way to the with the Lord, trust in Him, and He'll bring it to pass. And so, the one thing Chambers is talking about today is not calculating without God. Don't calculate without God. And I think about a trip like this. We took a trip with quite a few people. Wow, we have some birds contributing. But and I think when you're a little kid, here's what I would say: when you're a little kid and you're taking a trip and you're talking to your little friend that maybe came along with on your family vacation, and let's say you're 8 years old and you brought a little 8-year-old friend on your family vacation, and the 8-year-old, you get up in the morning and they say, okay, well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the store, and we're gonna go to the beach, and then we're gonna walk the boardwalk, and then we're gonna go for a hike, and you think, so you and your friend are calculating what all's gonna happen that day, and then the mom enters the room and she says, "Okay, guys, you ready to go?" And you're like, "Oh, what are we doing?" And mom lays down the plans, the real plans. And you can calculate all you want and think that you have a plan. And but the truth is, you you're calculating without any authority if you're not careful. And so I think that's what Chambers is getting out here. God has all the authority to calculate what He's going to do in your life. And if we stop and make our own plans and we think that we have things figured out, and we do it without um, trusting in God's authority over our own plans, our life. Sometimes we get ahead of ourselves, like an 8-year-old child that thinks they're going to plan out their own vacation. Um, Chambers says here in the first paragraph, we get into circumstances which were not chosen by God, and suddenly we find we've been calculating without God. In our religion, so this is he says in our religion, it's customary to put God first. We're in our religious um, when we're in our religious bent, when we are in Sunday morning mode. In our religion, it's customary to put God first, but we're apt to think it's an impertinence to put Him first in the practical issues of our lives. So Monday through Saturday, if we imagine we have to put on our Sunday moods before we can come near to God, we will never come near Him. We must come as we are. And what he's saying is, in the frustrated moments, in the bored moments, in the um, terribly depressed moments, in every moment of our life, we have to say, okay, God, not my will but yours be done. Not my will but yours be done. And the mistake is to think that He doesn't have a will for those times of life, for those times where we are frustrated, depressed, um, angry, that He doesn't have a will, and so or some plan for our life then. And so it's really important that we not just, and I've talked with people about this before. I think one of the biggest issues in anyone's life is to think that um, that Sunday morning is the only time we really stand before God. I was actually thinking yesterday as we were worshiping here at Snowbird, is where we are in Andrews, and I just thought about us bringing our kids here. We're gonna bring the youth here, and I thought the one thing that I really want to emphasize to them is AAOO. I want them to be concentrated on this throughout the week because I really saw it in the crowd, an audience of one, not performing, not reacting, not even emoting, if that's a word, is a word, but it means just being emotional for anyone other than Christ Himself. So an audience of one, understanding that everything that we do, it's not, who cares what the person next to me thinks. The problem is I do, and I shouldn't, and I need to figure out how not to. Um, I really need to understand that it is an audience of one that I'm standing before. And so that back to Sunday mornings versus Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday mornings. A Wednesday morning, there's an audience of one. I need to say, okay, God, what's your plan for my day? Um, can you help me to realize that plan today and not um, to take my own agenda forward? Love is not ignorant, Chambers says here, of the existence of the evil, but it does not take it as a calculating factor. He's talking about evil, even understanding that evil has its own agenda. Um, love doesn't see, because love conquers all, and that's in Scripture. Um, and we don't have to take into consideration evil when we are considering God's plans for our life, because His plans will take us straight through evil. Um, we will escape it. Joseph, you haven't contributed at all yet. I don't think it. I'm sorry, not to put you on the spot. Anyway, that's all right. You don't have to. But anyway, I think the audience of one, an audience of one. I thought about that. Maybe even making bracelets, AAOO, for the teens that are coming with us on this trip. I think it's really important that we understand there is an audience of one for whom we're performing, not performing. No, that we are existing. We're existing for an audience of one. So hope that's an encouragement today. You guys have an awesome one.